And we're back with more Echo.
Hey, we totally didn't do this intro twice over.
This is the fourth time. What are you talking about?
It's
Do not
actually
lie.
the 28th time. Thank you guys.
Now
You just don't
you're
remember
lying.
Thanks to the time loop.
Yeah, the time loop. I forgot
do
about
it
that.
Doing the time loop. Another time loop. Time loop
Can I say that?
again.
Is that a thing I'm allowed to do? That might be copyrighted.
It's under 10 bars, you're fine.
Okay.
Time break is copyrighted.
Time break.
Alright. I take the bend out of Mary Drive, trying to squint through the dust kicked up by my vehicle past the sagebrush ahead. Carl isn't exactly small or stealthy, so if he's around here, I should be able to see him. The more I drive, the more I start to notice how little maintenance the dirt roads receive out here. My tires kick up topsoil and gravel, and divots mar the surface and jolt me in my seat. Unlike Flynn's truck or Leo's van, my little clunker isn't meant for these sorts of roads. I can practically feel my maintenance bill growing. As I approach the turn off to Jasmine Street, I pull over onto the side of the road. I reach back into my shorts and take my wallet, placing it in the glove box and locking it just in case. Oh, thanks, controller. My controller died.
Yay.
Woo. Why do you use a controller anyways?
Because it's quieter than using the keyboard, you'll actually
okay.
hear the audio.
I get to show my progress on my
No,
Lego
you
thing.
don't. No, you
Fucking
don't.
God.
We're
Person
going to just use keyboard for the
destroyed.
rest of this. Stepping out of the vehicle, a cool sweat begins to form along my neck, and I have to remind myself that I'm 21. We're all adults, I can drink, I have a car, I live by myself. And Carl is in trouble. I walk through the clearing of dry brush. I'm reminded of the last time I was there. I had a fight with my parents. I think it was over my grades or Leo or something. Eventually, I had enough of being yelled at and took off for the generic teenage angst walk. My MP3 player was with me at the time, so I had put on my earbuds in and had the emo core cranked up.
Oh, yes.
Very 90s emo kid. No, Mom, Dad, you just don't understand me. Leaves house, listens to emo whiny.
One day.
I'm better now.
Meanwhile, the parents like, oh my god, was I like that?
Yeah, I knew
as a
Black
kid?
Parade was coming. I was messed, and it was like I wasn't even awake, just meandering through the desert bleary-eyed and directionless. I must have ended up on Jasmine because the abandoned school was nearby. I remember stopping to kick a rubber tire or something, and before I could, an arm appeared. It was a furless, sort of pinkish. It was furless, sort of pinkish, and incredibly long. It just showed up on the corner of my vision, stretching out in front of me, like someone was trying to hug me from behind. The music on my MP3 player had stopped, and there was a complete absence of sound beside the ring in my ears. You were saying?
Sorry, something incredibly long and pinkish like that's what she said.
Ah. For some reason, I still don't understand, and I didn't move. Maybe I was too scared. I did speak, but all I could say was, "Hey." And then someone hit me over the back of the head and called me a squeak. I tried to take my MP3 player too, but I was clutching it so tightly at that point they couldn't get me to release it. No matter how many times they hit me in the head. I ended up telling Leo about it later, and he basically forbade me from ever going near Jasmine Street again. He kept asking me who did it. I told him I didn't know, but Leo thought I was just trying to keep him from harm. He went on a big speech about how, where he comes from, if somebody did this shit to a man's significant other, they'd be fucking dead. I was tired and my head hurt, so I asked him how that philosophy was working out for everyone in his home country. It just made him even angrier, and he kept going on about how he was supposed to be the protector of us all. Hell, he even name-dropped Sydney to prove his point. Someone he almost never brings up because it kills the good mood. I come to a stop at the edge of the clearing. The street sign on the corner of the base of the hill confirms my location. Jasmine Street. Also known as Tetanus Alley, if you ask Flynn. No wonder Jenna changed her name. I make a point to keep my tail from touching the ground, occasionally checking the path ahead for shattered glass. Looking through the shattered windows of abandoned manufactured homes and littered hilltops, I can't imagine Carl in a place like this. Approaching Jenna's old house, I take stock of how it aged. Poorly. It's stucco, unlike most of the other trailers about, but it hasn't seen a good coat of paint in at least a decade. The lawn is overgrown with weeds, and old convenience store wrappers lay entangled in the grass. Even as little kids, we never played here. Jenna would always insist we go over to Leo's or my house. Listening in, peering through the torn screen windows, I can see that no one is home. Moving on through the back, around the back, I hear some chatter behind a half-demolished home next door. Some familiar voices stand out instantly. I keep out of sight behind the debris. This was Sam's character.
Do you want me to voice Heather for now?
Yeah, go ahead for it. But just, later on, Heather and Jenna are gonna have some scenes together.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's, any particular recommendations for voicing Heather?
So the big thing about Heather is that she is a very damaged person, if I'm gonna be blunt.
Okay.
She's not all there. She's kind of a little...
She's a princess.
Yeah.
She's damaged.
No, so the thing is, she's not a princess like that she's been spoiled. She's a princess in that she really desperately wants to be a princess because she's been through some shit.
Oh,
And that's her
okay.
escape fantasy.
Really damaged?
Yeah, she literally wants to be a princess. Okay.
I think it really
Not
will.
literally. I'm just saying, that's what she would prefer. She wants to live in a fantasy world so she doesn't have to deal with what's really going on in her life. Because her life is not good, if I'm being honest.
I mean, I was going to say that not literally, but then I was kind of thinking about certain things. And I was like, well...
Kind of, but, that's not her main motivating force for what she does.
No, it ain't.
Okay. No, it wasn't like that.
So, to give you an example of what she's like, she'd be like, she kind of would do that no with a whiny tone. She'd be like, no, it wasn't like that.
Okay, gotcha.
She really
that
does
type
think
of character.
Got it.
Okay. No, it wasn't like that.
Heather says this in a babyish whine, practically a coo. There's a rasp in her speaking voice that I don't remember her having. I forgot who the heck Jeremy was, if Jeremy even showed up before this.
No, Jeremy is Jenna's bro.
Yeah, I know he is. I'm trying to remember. I think I voiced Jeremy in Route 65 because he didn't have that many lines and I was just trying to get through it. So, Hannah, pick who you think should be your brother.
You know what? I can do Jeremy temporarily. Temporary
Okay,
Jeremy.
For now.
You lit up with him all day in that shed, and you're saying you didn't even do that?
No. He was really, really sweet. I mean, he had an accent and everything.
It's called a lisp.
I think this is your character, Harry.
I thought this was Clint.
No, I'm pretty certain this is Micah.
What kind of accent?
Yeah, that is Micah. That voice I don't recognize. It's sort of gravelly, but artificial. Like someone trying to make their voice sound deeper than it is. Like me, with how I try and voice Chase.
You know, the Hispanic ones. Is that still, PC to say? Because my cousin was telling me off fierce-like for using that other word.
You called Josh a Heather.
But I meant it in a good way, Like when I call you my night.
You can call me whatever the fuck you want, Heather. Just don't be throwing that shit around when Jer is trying to sell.
Chill, dude. You still bought from me.
does this go in?
That's what she said.
I don't honestly think it is.
I mean, it's your rind right now, Harry.
Oh, how much?
It's in the book.
He might not next time.
Dude.
Ever since you got back, you're so much more assertive.
The unknown voice doesn't respond. Jeremy speaks up again.
So, what happened with Juan?
We just talked, you know. He wants to be a baker. He said next time we meet, he'll bring me some guava campechanas.
Yeah. This is where like we run into the issue of like nobody here actually like knows these words that well.
Yeah.
I probably could actually like ask Nick at some point. He probably would tell me how it's pronounced.
Okay.
I would
Guava
assume-
campechanos.
You think it's campechanas, Seb?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Those apple turnover looking things, right? God, I'm hungry.
Oh, that sounds so good, Jeremy. Why do you have to bring up apple turnover?
Well, that's sort of what
Campechana.
I wasn't paying enough attention. Campechanas are. You brought them up, Heather.
Jeremy laughs his trademark bassy and titter.
Are you gonna give Juan your cherry pie next time you see him too?
Gross.
What?
Huh?
I don't know how to cook. I don't even have a stove.
Fuck me.
The voice groans.
It's slang for your V, you know.
It's
A
easier to
slice
say
of
squeak
cherry
for when it
pie.
comes to this. It's easier to say squeak so that way I can like know when to bleep things.
I'm not used to voicing this kind of character.
Ah,
This is Sebastian's kind of thing.
I wouldn't put my junk into a squeak. That looked like a slice of cherry pie. Yeah, that's a really cogent point.
You're gross.
What? He said it.
You both are.
Heather says
Straight
this with a
guys.
snooty flair, though it's subverted by her voice's more dopey, childish undertone.
I need to get out of this town. Probably the most honest statement I've heard anybody say.
Yeah, the point of Silent Hill is to leave Silent Hill, obviously.
You haven't even been back that long. Are you upset about the dreams again?
Yeah, the dreams, and the shit's getting worse. But it's the other stuff too, okay?
You just need to relax. Smoke some, That's what works for me when I get them.
I'm not trying to use up the stuff I'm trying to sell. I gotta save up, you know? Everyone around here seems to be losing their shit, and more than usual. Plus, that fucking bear leering around here all the time.
Brian keeps pushing me to sell this cut, injectable stuff. Won't tell me what it is.
Really?
There's a pause in the conversation.
Keith wants to say hi to his mom before work.
What was that?
Yeah,
What? That was an audio cue.
Yeah, it was an audio cue because note what happened right after that audio cue popped up, Harry.
I wasn't looking, I was looking at the Lego set I'm building.
Okay,
Do it.
I'm gonna rewind it. Just pause in the conversation. Audio cue. Look what's on screen, Harry.
Keith wants to say hi to his mom before work.
Remember what we talked about, Harry?
Oh.
I already said my line.
Keith wants to say hi to his mom before work.
Heather.
Keith wants to say hi to his mom before work.
What's wrong with her?
Why are you saying that, Heather?
Increasing sense of urgency takes hold in Jeremy's usually calm, lackadaisy tone.
Keith? You mean Keith from...
Heather begins to sob. Her crying is sputtering and wet. I can hear from here.
Oh, God.
Heather, dude, what's wrong?
She continues bawling, her whining cry increasingly shrill and choked.
Oh my God!
Heather!
I can't deal with this right now.
Micah, give her a joint.
Micah, what?
What? I'm not giving her any more of mine. That's not right. It's the one. She's probably pulling this shit just to get more.
Dude, now I've got some of mine in the mini storage out back. Just hurry, okay?
Okay.
Hearing footsteps, my heart lurches. I move back around to the other side of the structure, praying that my clumsy otter self is actually stealthy for once in my life. However,
No.
it isn't long before I see him round the same corner I just did.
What in the goddamn shit?
Yo.
This guy swears too much. I don't like it.
Oh, those are some big ears. Oh.
He is a bat. Micah's
He's a
big eyes
goth
widen
bat
in
kid.
alarm.
He's a goth bat druggy kid.
I think
You know,
he's
we
seen,
all go through a
actually.
phase.
Huh?
I
What
don't
is
think
it
he's
on?
goth. I think he's singing, if I remember right.
I'm so sorry.
I feel like scene is the new goth.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. That's why.
It was a pretty easy transition. It just happened.
I see.
I don't know what those words are.
You don't know what
It's
goth is?
I mean, I know what a goth is, yes.
Okay, then.
I don't know what a
Micah's-
scene is.
Well, it's more like a type of style and everything like that.
Just ask Dr. Google to answer all your questions for you, or
See,
better
when
yet,
I recommend
ask
that
the Bing
people
AI.
yell at me.
Ask the Bing AI, and it'll give you completely fabricated information.
Just ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT will tell you all.
See,
Yeah.
when I tell people to Google it, I get yelled at. When he tells people to Google it, everybody goes along with it.
Yeah,
That's
because
why I cry at
my
night.
my suggestions are so absurd, but framed like they're jokes that people know not to stop or question me because I'll just get worse.
He's also got my wife hostage.
Oh,
Do you know what? She gets to come out of the box when you've been a good boy.
Okay.
okay.
Oh my gosh.
Micah's big
Anyways.
eyes widen in alarm. The words catch in his throat, higher pitched than his others. There is a pause, and having been caught, I haven't got a clue what to say.
Well, it really is you.
Are you not able to do the swears right now?
No, I mean, I can. It's just like...
He mutters, his face taking a more stern expression. What?
What the fuck are you doing here, Schizo?
I'm jolted for a moment. That being something I hadn't been called in years. I swallow, crossing the arms and trying to look nonchalant. Looking for Jeremy.
I thought you fucked off to college like the rest.
I thought you disappeared back in '08. A quiet huff escapes the small bat.
Well, I'm here now.
Heather's crying can still be heard in the background, her banshee-like wails providing an odd ambiance to this reunion.
Why do you need to see Jeremy?
I'm looking for Carl. An indiscernible expression takes hold upon Micah's face, intense with his gaze flicking to his surroundings.
Rich Gon ain't here. Why? Is Leo with you?
No. Suddenly, Jeremy approaches from around the corner.
Dude, what the hell?
He's a fat fennec fox.
I could tell. No,
Yes,
that
he's
was
very fat.
that was the line. I was saying the line.
I know.
Oh,
I moved along. The Stat Phoenix turquoise eyes bulge. He's much more round than I remember him, looking like a mix of Jenna with Carl's body.
I'll be right back.
Skitzo's here. Oh, Jesus, where's the wolf?
DJ, you're
Oh.
replacement Harry.
They're the people who just
And
never left high school. That's it, yeah.
Kind of. I mean, they
Yeah.
literally are out of high school now, but like their only
Well, I
job
mean,
is
like,
to sell
they're-
and push drugs.
I mean, so like, I have people. I went to high school. I grew up in a little tiny town, and I'm not saying they sell drugs exclusively, but like I still go to the county fair as some years, and like we bump into each other, and it seems like they're just exactly the same person, except all of a sudden they have kids and they don't know where the kids came from, and they're like working as a security guard because that's all the work there is in my hometown. It's like, huh. And one of them called me like a name in high school that they would call me by. It's like, no one's literally called me that since high school. Wow, this is adorable.
Yeah,
And
except
sad.
these guys are a lot less. Oh, they're just never left high school, and a lot more. Oh, they're actual junkies and
Yeah.
acid dealers.
Not saying that my hometown doesn't have junkies and acid dealers, but yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, when you're ready, Harry.
He says he's not here.
Guys, I'm looking for Carl. Even the police are searching for him now. Micah tenses the hell up with that information, his standoffish demeanor completely gone. One of the few people he talked to before he went missing around midnight was you, Jeremy. Have any idea where he could have gone? Jeremy stares ahead at me blankly. There's a certain warmth that Jenna possesses to her gaze that her brother completely lacks in. I look at Jeremy now, and all I can see are all the times he threatened me over stuff I didn't do, called me a slur, and hit me. Yet, there's definitely something different in his demeanor that I remember. He's less intense.
So I tell you if I knew. I just hooked him up yesterday, like quarter mile from his house. Ever since he crashed his ride, he makes me come out there to him when he wants to buy.
So he didn't mention anything about running off?
I can't see Carl running. Why the hell would he want to when he's got everything he'd ever want in that castle?
The castle. Which is why it's worrying that he isn't there.
Did it look like somebody broke in?
No.
Oh,
You didn't give him anything laced, did you? I don't really know how all that works.
Nah, it's the same stuff I smoke.
That's not that reassuring, but I nod regardless. Well, thanks. We're staying at Carl's if you hear anything, or see him around anywhere. Jeremy frowns, canting his head to the side.
Is Jenna with you?
Yeah. Jeremy's frown deepens, but he doesn't look exactly angry or anything.
Oh.
There's a pause of silence, punctuated by a choked sob from Heather behind the house.
How's she doing?
The usual, better than everyone else. Jeremy's frown shifts to a lopsided smile. The fox is grinning for a second. One of his front teeth is chipped in half.
Sounds about right.
Michael looks over his shoulder.
I'm gonna get that joint.
He sidesteps, grunting as he passes.
Nice soul patch.
Excuse me, that's
What's
our
that?
word. You can't say it.
It's our word.
It's our word.
I mean, I'm gonna just spoil this. Micah is gay as the day is long.
Oh, well.
That's funny.
Okay, whatever. Micah, fine. But, no one else can
So
say
can
that.
you say half of the word?
Who, me?
Harrison?
Oh, I get the actor's pass. That's how that works. That worked. That worked. You think Leo would live today without that actor's pass when he did Django Unchained?
No. All right.
Hmm.
So, are we gonna snap back at Micah, or are we gonna just say nothing? Because if I remember correctly, the snapback has some like really devastating thing, but like this isn't gonna like affect the ending or anything.
I want to see this devastating
I want to
thing.
say
You're fine. You have promised devastation. You best deliver it
All
now.
right.
Hey,
You got
I
a
wouldn't
glass.
say nothing.
All right. Well, good luck for you, DJ. You got a glass house there, stone thrower.
I've got a lot of stone. Now fuck off.
Who the hell is this neon sign fuck me of a bat to treat me like this? I liked him better when he was just a
Neon
tiny,
sign.
annoying klepto. But I liked him even more when he was on the back of a milk carton.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the line. That's the one that I remembered.
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy shit!
That was
Chase, you dick.
dark.
Nice.
Fuck.
I mean, really, I get it, but woof. I don't get that. You can dislike people, but whoa.
That is
Eh,
Wow.
well, sometimes they really suck.
The thing
And
is,
maybe
like,
they deserve it.
the only reason why that line works is because we know Micah is okay. If Micah was actually like still missing to this day, that'd be like a heinous thing to say.
It's still a pretty freaking heinous thing to say.
Well, the thing is, what we know is that Micah ran away. He wasn't like kidnapped or something. Jeremy watches Micah for a moment before scratching his gut. His eyes are upon me now.
You should go now.
Of course, gladly. I look around at my surroundings. I'll let Jenna know you're doing just great out here.
Eat shit, don't come back.
Jeremy just stares at me until I begin to walk away, then goes back to Heather. She's still crying. And there we go. We're done with Wednesday and on to Thursday.
Another excellent insult along lines of eat shit is suck out my farts.
Oh,
That's a good
this
one.
is new.
What the fuck?
Oh, that's not new.
Can you redo that? I wasn't looking at the screen and I just got a chill running straight up my spine.
Alright, here, I'll do it again. You really should pay attention, Harry.
Yeah, bitch.
He's taking joy in a simple solace. It's the only thing we haven't managed to take away from him. Let him have it for now.
I'll take it away yet. That
Oh,
image
that
there on the
is
side.
interesting.
Yeah, they add that to
That
the
kind of
anniversary.
looked like Sam.
I thought that was Chase looking at it.
Just gonna run this like.
Like here, this is the last time I'll do it. But I'm gonna look this time and try and check the tail because that's a pretty obvious if it's a otter tail or not. We see legs. There's the tail. That's a thicker tail. It's an otter tail.
Okay, I was wrong.
Called a rudder.
All right. Well, we'll say hi to our new best friend next time. Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, new best friend.
Best friends.